Nerazzurri fans from all over the world, welcome to the Interglobe. Inter-Benfica 3-3. We are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. 13 years after Mourinho, we made it. 13 years. Incredible. Back then it was Barcelona, now it's Milan. It's an Euro derby and we're going to have time to talk about it, but I want to concentrate now on yesterday's game. Psychotic, but historic. Yes, because we made history by reaching the semi-finals. At the same time, we showed our psychotic soul yesterday, because we complicated things for ourselves quite a bit in the first half and quite a bit in the second, at the end of the game as well. So, lights and shadows on yesterday's game. But yet, I'm very happy and I want to congratulate the whole squad, because really reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League with the groups we had this year with Bayern and Barcelona was something unthinkable. So very well. Let's go to the game. First half, we start off very well. I was happy to see the approach, concentration. We make this beautiful goal with Barella, wonderful play by Dzeko, and then Lauti, and then incredible shot with the left foot. So wonderful goal. But then instead of taking advantage of the psychological fragility of Benfica, no, not only we didn't take advantage and put the game to sleep, we also created a bit of a fight in the middle of the pitch with Acerbi and other players, which is totally something to avoid in a situation like that. So we made a very big mistake in terms of personality. And they also scored at the end of the first half the goal, because we kind of lost attention in that episode in which Darmian kept everyone on play, and then they scored because Dumfries was a bit late with a header. Anyway, the end of the first half was problematic, because we felt this goal on our shoulders, the burden of this goal, and I was happy to see that in the second half, unlike many times this year, we came in with the right attitude. We were pressing very well, very high, and it was a very clever idea to do so right in the beginning of the half, to show Benfica that there was not going to be a lot of space for them. Then again we score our second goal, and what happens? We kind of lose it again. We lose concentration. We basically give them chances. It's incredible. Then we reach 3-1 and we disconnect completely. The last 15 minutes they hit the post and they scored 2 goals. This is the psychotic side of Inter that worries me if I think about the future, both in Serie A and in Champions League, because it's really a dangerous behavior to have. Why? Because in any point of the game, you're never sure that you're going to make it. So, it was really important to score many goals, and Correa scored even after Lauti, which is incredible. But this blackout is what worries me a bit. Let's go to the report. Tiramolla Onana 6+. Very secure and confident with his feet. Very good launches, especially on Dumfries, very good. I appreciated that. He also made a couple of good saves. When you get 3 goals, it's difficult to give you a good grade, but he couldn't do much. Maybe in the first case, he could have done a little better in the first goal with a header at the end of the first half. But all in all, I want to give him a 6+. Darmian 7. Incredibly concentrated. He has that episode where he keeps everybody in play in the occasion of the first goal of Benfica, but all in all, he was perfect. I loved the determination and the focus that he displayed yesterday, and that's why it's a 7. Acerbi also 7. Personality in the middle of the field, in defense, great stamina as well, because towards the end of the game he made some good interventions, and great grit. you can see that he really has the energy and the determination that we really need. Especially I noticed it when he recuperated the ball on João Mario. He did it with such strength, and I really love this kind of plays. So it's a 7 for Acerbi, a 7 for Bastoni as well. Very good. He reached his plateau of shape and is staying there, up there, because he's playing always very well. And he didn't make any mistake in defense, which is something that really is important in his case because it's one of his weaknesses. A-Train Dumfries, 7-. Why? First of all, because he's at the epicenter of Inter's plays all the time. We play a lot on the right. Yes, we do on the left with Bastoni, Mkhitaryan and Di Marco, but on the right, especially when it comes to constructing the play from the goalie. I mean, Onana made like 4 or 5 at least launches to Dumfries, and he always got it with his head. So that's very good and very important strategically. He recuperated a couple of good balls in defense, which also goes to his merit because like Bastoni is not the best in his defensive phase. He was a bit late on the first goal of Benfica, we have to say this. That's why I give him the minus, 7-. But all in all, I appreciated A-Train yesterday. Barella, 8. Not only the importance of the goal that he scored, because it was the first one, and it kind of took away the burden that we had psychologically, but it's his 8th goal in the season, which is his personal record, and Sneijder was the last Inter player who scored 3 goals in Champions League. So that's a good coincidence, I would say. What an Euro goal. What a fantastic shot. Amazing, amazing, but not only amazing in the plays, some nice crosses as well, but in the behavior, helping his teammates, really. I think he is the best example of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in Inter this year. In the Serie A, he's nervous and crazy. In Champions League, he's a lamb. Anyway, yesterday he gets an 8, best man on a pitch with Lauti. Tubeman Brozovic, 5+, the only disappointment for me yesterday. Yes, in the first half, he kept order in midfield and he did it very well. I appreciated the way he moved around to ask for the ball from his players and to alleviate them and their situation and their position. But it's not the first, not the second, not the third. Every game he loses a couple of balls that are really, really dangerous. And yesterday he did as well. And on one of the 2 balls that were horrible that he lost, they hit the post. I mean, we can't afford to leave the ball to our opponents twice in a match all the time. So really, Tubeman, you gotta improve, bro. It's a 5+. Mkhitaryan, 6. Very well in the back, but not very good forward. He's tired. He puts all his effort in what he's doing. That's why I give him a 6. But when it comes to building plays, he's not very good. During a counter-attack, he made a very big mistake by not giving the ball neither to the right nor to the left to Dzeko and Lauti, who were completely free. Also, he lost more than 1 ball, and that's not good. He did also another solo action like a couple of games ago, but it didn't end up well. And he was majestic on Lauti's goal, on the second goal, because if you remember, Di Marco came on the flank and they made a give and go with Mkhitaryan, and then he gave the ball to Lauti. So in that play, he was determinant. So all in all, it's a 6 for Miki. Drone delivery, Di Marco, 7.5. Drone delivery, 7.5. I want to say that he's the defender with the most assists in the Champions League this year, and this says it all. You could see yesterday that he was back in shape, unlike the previous games. He had, that sparkle, that speed, that foot, that elegant foot that put those crosses and corners in the middle of the area so well. And he was also fantastic when he recuperated the ball in our penalty box, almost, and it was really decisive over there. He also, of course, made the assist for Lauti in the second goal, and if we want, he made it also for Correa in the third, but all in all, it's a 7.5 for drone delivery Di Marco. Dzeko, 6. Very, you could see the will in him. you could see that really he wanted to help the team. In the first goal's action is evident. He also made some nice moves as usual, but he's just you can see that he's like 70% physically, not more than that, so he can't give more than what he's doing. It's a 6 for Dzeko. Lauti, 8. Best man on the pitch with Barella. Aggressive. He gave wonderful passes to his teammates, and he wasn't as selfish as sometimes he demonstrated to be, right? Then he made the assist for Barella in the first goal. He scored the second goal. He comes behind. I noticed this yesterday. He was in midfield, sometimes even in the defensive territory, to gain the ball and to start the play and to help the team. So that was very, very good. And he also had a nice shot from outside of the penalty area in the second half. The goal was amazing. So, you know, what can we say? This is the leader that we want to see on the pitch every game, Lauti, every game. The problem is that you are like this for 5 games, and then for 5 games you don't score. Consistency is what makes a champion. But it's an 8 yesterday. Correa, 7 minus. 7 because he scored a fantastic goal. Minus, actually minus, 2 minuses because of the gesture that he did in celebrating. Joachim, you should have kneeled yesterday after the goal, kneeled and asked for forgiveness, to the Curva Nord and to the rest of the stadium. You shouldn't do this. You should probably listen to some supporters, including me, who will tell you why this is not something you should have done yesterday. I will tell you only one thing. You scored the last goal before this one, October 29th. And you do this. It's a 7 minus and you're lucky because that gesture was really offensive for everything we had to see from you during these 2 years. Lukaku, 5.5. On the second goal that they score, on that header, he kind of loses his man on the corner kick, so that's why he's not 6. And in general, you couldn't see him very much yesterday. He didn't participate to the plays that much. Sultan of Swing, Çalhanoğlu, 6. He didn't have much time to do much. And D'Ambrosio, no grade, because he also played very little. Inzaghi, 8 minus. Why 8? Because he did something incredible, unthinkable, unpredictable, surprising, and that deserves all the merit in the world. So thank you so much, Simone. Despite all the criticisms, all the pressure, all the media, you did something historic this time, for real. And the minus is because you made the substitutions a bit too late. When we scored the 2-1, you have to take out all the players with yellow card. It's your forte, that's your strong jacket, dealing and managing with yellow cards, and you don't take them out when we score the 2-1. I mean, we had Di Marco, we had Bastoni, we had Dzeko, we had Lauti with yellow cards. Anyway, the minus is for making the substitutions a bit too late. I want to also today give an 8 to Zhang. Yes, so criticized, Zhang out, please leave. I want to give an 8 without any minus to Zhang. And you know why? First, because he allowed us to reach this point. After all, we have to admit it. And secondly, because before the game, I saw these images of him just giving the high five to every single player of the squad, not only of the starting lineup, inside the locker room or just outside. This, for me, is very important. I felt almost emotional when I saw this, because he's always very far from the team, very cold, very formal in speaking. But yesterday, he really gave me the impression of being totally committed, and I'm sure that this helped the team a lot. Anyway, we are through semi-finals. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please punch the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe and leave a comment. It's very important for me. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, Forza Magica Inter! Ciao!